first things first, Charles. I just wanted to ask how the legs are after your cycling this week.
It's not worth talking about. I am in pieces. I've I have no words to say how tired I am today. But oh well, great calls and almost enjoyed it.
Yeah, we enjoyed maybe getting off at the end of the day.
Oh, definitely.
But great for you in the situation that you're in, and obviously a lot going on at the other club to take time out of your week and do it for such a wonderful cause.
Yeah, as I say, I loved it. It was great. Obviously, it was very hard, and we was. I think it shocked a lot of people that was doing it how hard it was. But yeah, I had a bike ride for a great cause with great people, and yeah, it was a good day.
Okay, well that's good. Hopefully you've recovered by the weekend. Talking of which, sort of squad news, Charlie, you were hoping to have him back. Is that still on the cards?
I think he'll be doing something light today. Obviously, we've got to be careful with someone who's been out ill and he's been weak for quite a while. We don't want him to come back and get an injury straight away. But he'll be back in today. He's in with the group and he'll be training. So we'll see how he is and we'll see how he gets through training today.
Okay, and anybody pick anything up from last weekend or from Monday as it was that's going to rule them out?
No, we had about 8 injuries after the game on the other day, but I think none of them serious. So I hope they'll all be out there today. We might see how a couple react in the warm-up and see if they need an extra day, but there should be a good squad available for the weekend.
Yeah, and not that players are ever lacking motivation to go out there and do it, but last home game of the season, that if there's any doubt in a player's mind, they're always going to be, right, come on, let's strap it up for this one.
Yeah, I had a thing that their body belongs to me for 90 minutes on a Saturday, so that's the deal. They have to be ready. If they want to play, they've got to be ready.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is, any same first home game, first last game in front of your own fans. At the end of what has been, there's been a lot going on this season. It would be nice to sign off with a positive note, wouldn't it?
It'd be great, yeah. That's what we're really looking forward to. Hopefully get a good result and then have a really nice last day of the home game at the end of the season.
Yeah, and Boreham Wood as a team had an amazing first half of the season, and you just wonder how much that FA Cup run has sort of taken it out of them a little bit.
I think they did have obviously a lull after the FA Cup, but they know that. But they're in good form. They've had a couple of good results, so they're going to be a real tough opponent at the weekend, and they know how to win games. So we better be ready for them.
And the situation you're in, obviously, nobody quite knows what's happened beyond the end of the season. Are you any clearer? Are you know more now than you would have done a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago?
No, exactly the same as I did a week ago. And all that is unfortunately, I've just got to get ready for the weekend, get the team ready for the weekend. And that's where that'll be my focus and the team's.
And I suppose there's a little bit of clarity to that, isn't there? Because if you can't affect it, you can't almost worry about it. So all you can do is send those 11 players and the subs out to do the best they can do. Yeah,
that's what the players have got to do. They're going to have a career of getting to the end of their season and maybe not having a contract. It's not something that happens rarely. I think I had it the last 6 years of my career. So you've got to prepare for it and you've got to show that you're willing to put your body on line to win games, because that's what gets you new contracts at the club you're at or gets you signed at other clubs.
Yeah, but it must not be an easy thing. I mean, first time it happened to you as a younger player, and you're sort of thinking in the back of your mind, well, if I get injured here, I could be in a bit of trouble. But if you play that way, you're not going to get the new deal. How difficult is that to get your head around?
Well, other players seem to tell me it's difficult. I'm going to be honest, I found it very easy. I never once thought about an injury before a game. I went into every game trying to prove to people how good I was, and I stuck with that my whole career, and it always seemed to work for me. But I've heard of players struggling in their career to get motivated for the end of the season, but I'm going to be honest, that them sort of players probably don't last as long as some of the others. So you've got to work out a way to get motivated and produce your best at the weekend.
Good stuff. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Charlie, disappointing result at Halifax, long way to go, and then go and concede a late goal. You must have been a bit gutted with that one, weren't you?
Gutted with the result, definitely. Yeah, real gutter. When you go that long, and you've got to come away with at least a point. And I know we're trying to play games to win them, but when you're 83rd minute against a real good team, probably the best I've played against since I've been back at the club, you've got to see it through and get a result. And it was real gutter, but there was loads of positives. from the Halifax game.
But in particular, the subs did quite well for you, didn't they?
Definitely, yeah. It was a good all-round performance from a lot of boys that day, and it was a real gutter that we let in that late goal.
Of course, then it didn't help, I suppose, that you go and have a grind out a 0-0 draw against 10 men against Wilston on the Monday.
Yeah, it was going to be tough for all the clubs who played 2 in 2 days, and I'm going to be honest, there weren't as many positives from the Halifax game, even though we got the point. That was good, but we dominated possession and we looked like the only team who probably would win it, but we just didn't have that killer instinct, and that was left a bit of a sour taste in mine and the players' mouths after the game. We was really gutted, felt like we let one go there.
I mean, looking forward, you know, at the moment you're the manager, and you know, as far as we know, you could well be the manager next year as well. Would you say that home dominance of games is something that you really need to attend to, because it's, you know, it seems as though we can't seem to put our best performances on at home?
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I think some of the performances have been good. It's the killer instinct and getting the goals that win the game, and we know you can play good football and on paper look like the best team, but unless you score them goals and you have that winning mentality, that teams are going to do well with it, because it's a great club to come to. I always enjoyed coming to the other. It's a big club in this league, a great club, and it's a lovely place. So people are always up for it here. So you're going to have that extra killer instinct to get the result at home.
Yeah, quite. But Jack Robinson in particular played exceptionally well, I thought. You know, watching him, and again Morgan Williams was consistently good. You must be pleased with those two in particular.
I thought they were excellent. Unfortunately for us, they were probably our best attacking threat. I thought Morgan, the way he got into the box, he carried the ball up the pitch. He looked like a proper right wing back or right midfielder. And Jack Robson was solid in all the position he played. I thought they were excellent. They carried the game to Wilson and made it really hard for them.
And again, you know, I hate to bring up negative points, but set pieces, you know, we don't seem to be scoring many goals from set pieces. I know another team like that that's struggling with set pieces, and I get fed up with it, because, you know, when you see, I mean, watching Real Madrid last night, two set pieces, 2 goals, bang bang. You know, it's an opportunity to score a goal, and yet we don't seem to be taking them up.
I agree with you completely. I'll be surprised if there's a team in the top 6 who's not very good at scoring set pieces. And we know it, even at the Premier League level, the top teams score the most set pieces. It's something that we have to be better on, because defensively we are awesome. We win the first ball, we defend it, we squeeze our box, we block shots. So it's got to be a change of mentality, I believe. It's if they can change that mentality from the way they defend the box for corners into the attacking, because the delivery's been good. You can't criticise the delivery. We've got some good set piece takers who put the delivery in, and it's got to be a change of mentality, and that's something that we are working on and we will continue to work on.
Almost a kind of sort of mental block, really.
I think it is. I think it's got to a point where you just need a trigger, someone to be the trigger to change the luck, and then you tend to you start getting more goals from set pieces.
What are you expecting from Boreham Wood on Saturday?
They're a very good team. They haven't changed their team drastically throughout the season. They've got the same sort of players, the same spine, and they know how to win games. And I think the FA Cup run, they probably wouldn't want to admit, but it did take a lot out of them, and it's taken them time to get over it. But they've had a couple of great results, and Luke's done really well there, and it's going to be a real tough game, and it seems like we've had a couple of tough games lately, and this will be another one, so we've got to be prepared for it, and they're not going to come here and let us win at home for our last game of the season here.
Well, best of luck for it anyway, and hopefully you get 3 points and kick on for Altrincham on the last day of the season.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Thanks, Charlie.
See ya.
How you doing, Charlie? You okay?
Yeah, really well. You?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. When a team's struggling for goals but you're playing well, is there anything you can do on the training pitch to kind of help yourselves out, or it's just trying to find that sort of trigger to break kind of the deadlock sort of thing?
It's a bit of both. There's obviously, we will be doing lots and working with players to try and finish. You can practice at anything. Anyone who says you can't is not being honest. You can practice finishing, you can practice tactics, you can work on the positions you get in. But I think the positions we're getting in and the box entries have been good. And then there is the little bit of side, which is just the mental side now. You've got to put a player in his right mindset to score a goal. And maybe that's the little thing that we're off a little bit. But we have got players who can score goals. So it's now the battle is making them feel like they're ready to score. And that'll be the biggest step that we've got to work on.
You know, you've had a taste of managerial experience now. I know it's beyond your control, but would you like to still be a manager here, either here next year or somewhere else, given the opportunity?
Listen, I've loved being a coach, I love being the assistant manager, and I've loved being a manager, and it's obviously something in the future that I would like to do, both sides of it. Coaching, being the assistant manager and being a manager is something that I'd love to do in the future, but at the minute it doesn't really matter what I want, it's what the team needs, and the team needs now is me to get them prepared for the game of the weekend, and I'll do everything I can, and I feel like they should be, to get them ready for Saturday.
Obviously, there's just a small matter of a cup final as well midweek. Has there been any thoughts to that yet, or is it just purely Saturday?
We'll be thinking about the 3 games and the squad between them. You have to think ahead as a manager. The players shouldn't be thinking about it, but it will be a great evening, and we're really looking forward to it. The players have spoke about it, and it is classed as, for me, it's a first team game. We've got 3 games left to the end of the season, and that will show by what the team I put out.
Best luck for the weekend, and I hope you get the cup on Tuesday as well, Charlie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charlie.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Cheers.